up, party people? It's your girl, Nicole Banister, aka NIKKI BANZ, coming to you live from Cape Town, South Africa. Today I'm interviewing Alina Hayat, right here on NIKKI BANZ Live! Wow! Hi, friends. I have missed you, okay? I haven't been live on a Tuesday in a couple of weeks. Well, maybe just 1 week, okay? But I missed y'all so much. Hi, Dr. Socrates. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Alina. Hello, Rashid. Hello, Afua. Hello, Shanu. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh my gosh, I missed y'all so much, okay? As you all know, your girl NIKKI BANZ was in the studio last Tuesday filming the one, the only, season 2 of Started Up, my amazing YouTube show, Started Up, which is a social entrepreneurship competition for students from all over the world who are pitching their social impact business ideas to an elite group of judges for the chance to win $50,000. Woo! So we were in the studio filming the finals last week. This is literally my finale hair. You'll have to let me know in the comments what you think. These are super long braids. They go all the way down past my bootay, okay? They're very, very, very long braids. This is my look for the finals. I'm trying to milk this hairstyle for as long as I can. You know, when they do your hair in the studio, it always looks chef's kiss. It looks perfect. So I'm trying to just keep it for as long as I possibly can. So thank you for sticking with me. Sorry I didn't have NIKKI BANZ Live last Tuesday, but we're back and better than ever. NIKKI BANZ Live is your favorite interview series where I interview the dopest, most interesting, most dynamic actors, activists, rappers, dancers, Olympians, WNBA players. And today I have a YouTuber, an amazing content creator named Alina Hayat. She is absolutely fascinating. And honestly, there's so many things I want to talk to her about. Her multicultural identity, being a third culture kid and living all over the world, her journey into content creation. We're gonna get into all of it. Okay. I'm so happy to have you all here. But before I bring Alina on, I gotta give out a couple other announcements and shout outs. You know how your girl NIKKI BANZ does. So first and foremost, for those of you here in Cape Town, Cape TZ, the one and only Cape Town, South Africa, which is where I am right now, go to Amore Sandwich Bar, 48 Rebick Street. They are selling my postcards. As you can see on the wall behind me, I love postcards, okay? I love postcards. I love snail mail. It's an art and people don't appreciate it much. I know everyone's just trying to make like a reel these days, but I like to write. I like handwriting things. So I have a limited edition exclusive postcard collection that I'm selling at Amore. Beautiful, gorgeous shots I took around Cape Town and I'm selling them. So go to Amore, 48 Rebick Street and go check them out. We're also going to be celebrating this Thursday at First Thursdays here in Cape Town. So that's super fun. My little entrepreneurial journey of my own. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel where my show is, you gotta do that now. Well, first and foremost, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Nicole Banister, aka NIKKI BANZ. But you also need to subscribe to GSEA, okay? GSEA, the Global Student Entrepreneur Awards. That is where my show is hosted. We had 5 million views on the show last season, which is absolutely incredible. And this year we go for 10 million, or maybe even 20 million. You gotta make it happen for us. You can go to my YouTube channel and find it and subscribe so you can watch season 1 before season 2 drops, episode 1 this Friday, okay, party people? So many cool kids here. Shout out to my boy John. What's up, John? You're probably at the airport about to fly off and leave us in Cape Town, but it's okay. Ben Jilly's in the building. What's up, Ben? Sacred Heart of Gold, my friend Philip Tamayo. Are you going to sell your postcards in Austin, Texas? As of now, no, but I could ship them to Austin, Texas. So slide into my DMs. If you want a set of Holy Water postcards, I can send them to you in Texas, $35. I love it. I love it. I see Chai with Ahmed is in the building. What's up? Rayhamin, what's up, baby girl? We've got so many amazing people here. Alina, I'm going to get you in just a moment. Adolfo, hola Adolfo, ¿qué tal mi amigo? Okay, so many amazing people here. What up? I love it. I love it. Okay, I just have to give one more shout out. Okay, one more shout out before I bring Alina on. The last shout out is for those of you here in Cape Town. Tomorrow night, I'm hosting an amazing women's entrepreneurship and networking event called CEO, because it's all about the badass female CEOs in the building, y'all. Okay, come to CEO. Tickets are only $100 Rand. Okay, tickets are only 100 Rand, and you can come see some of the most incredible female entrepreneurs and CEOs in the city. I cannot wait for you to meet them. Come join us tomorrow night, Hardy Collective. I will be on the mic interviewing these amazing boss babes and taking notes. You know what I mean? Okay. So everybody, the time is now. The time is now to bring on the one and only Alina Hayat. Like I said, she is a YouTuber. She is a content creator. Hey y'all. Sorry, I had to pause. Taking a little sip. She's a YouTuber. She's a content creator. She's been all over the world. She's a rock star, and I cannot wait to have her on. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's bring her on right now. The one, the only, Alina Hayat. Hello. Okay, I'm getting. Hello, Alina. Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Hi, beautiful.
Hello. It's so nice to see you again.
Oh my gosh. Likewise, we're finally making this interview happen after like 6 months of talking about it.
I know.
This is fantastic. Welcome to NIKKI BANZ Live, Alina. It's such a pleasure to have you here. We're going to have so much fun talking about your content creation, your multicultural background, your jet setting all over the world. So many fun things to talk about here today. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Okay, I'm excited to have you. And I always like to start off every single interview by telling people who are on the live or who are watching the rerun on YouTube how I know the guests on my show. So we met back in December in Dubai at the 1 billion followers summit. So it was this really cool summit that had all these like epic content creators from all over the world. And we were talking and I was like, oh, you're cool, so cool, such a vibe. And you're like, yeah, I'm a content creator. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. And we just like totally hit it off like in that little stairwell, you know, at
I remember that. Yeah. That stairwell.
Literally, we were just like, we were so bored of like the speeches and stuff. We're like, we just need to like get away and like do something else. And then we met and it was brilliant. I love that. I love that. And I think you're still like pretty close with my good friend, Dana as well. Dana today.
Yeah. I love Dana. Shout out to Dana. Dana today.
Literally, I feel the same way. Shout out to Dana. She's amazing. So it's cool to see all these networks combining, and it's amazing to have you and to share a bit more about your story. So I have to say, I was trying to find interviews that you had done online. So I was like searching YouTube, and I found these like two podcast interviews that you did.
Right.
And well, one was like barely in English, so I was like, well, one I was super impressed because I was like, yo, this girl is just out here doing a whole podcast interview in a different language, so I didn't know anything that was going on. Then the other podcast was like so random. It was like the podcast guy was like asking you to ask him questions. I was like, what?
I don't even remember which one it is, but if you're talking about one specific one that I have in mind, PTSD.
Okay, well, it was probably that one, so we're not going to bring it up, and we're going to redeem your interviews for all of the internet. So anyone who wants to know about Alina is going to watch this interview because this is going to be the one.
The new updated version.
Literally. Okay, so Alina, you have such a fascinating background just in terms of your identity and your heritage. So talk to us and introduce yourself in terms of, you know, how you describe yourself, your culture, and who you are as a human.
Well, I mean, for the people that follow me, obviously this is going to be so redundant because it's all I talk about, the whole identity crisis thing. But for anyone new, so I honestly don't know what to say when people ask me where I'm from. I would like to give a straightforward answer, but it just never, like, it always ends up being a whole ass conversation. So I like to, I guess if you say where I'm from, I'd say I'm from New Zealand. I guess nationality wise, that is where I identify myself as where I'm from. I grew up there. My mom's Russian, however, and my dad's Pakistani. And I was born in Japan. So it's really just a big mix of all around the world, all over the place. How I would identify myself, I don't know. I would just say I'm a kid of the world at this point. And yeah.
You are 100%
Yeah.
a global citizen. I
Yeah.
love it.
Miss
And
Universe.
yes, and I resonate
Yeah.
very deeply with that. Like, I love talking to
Yeah,
kids.
that's what we bonded on. Yeah. Because
It,
you, Persian, South African, crazy mix as well.
exactly, exactly. So, yeah, born in the United States, half
Yeah.
Black American, half Iranian, living in South Africa, grew up in Singapore, like just all over the
Oh my
place.
God.
Yeah, just all
Yeah.
over the place. And I think it's really cool. You know, for me, you having that kind of multicultural background and identity is truly your superpower, right? Because you are
I
able to
agree.
like seamlessly integrate into so many different cultures and environments because that's the reality of your lived experience. But I know that sometimes it is challenging to say, like, you know, you can't answer the question like this is where I'm from, or you can't answer the question like this is what I identify with. And so what do you think it is for you that, like, what do you think it is for you that stops you from saying, actually, I'm just from all of these places and all of these things you all just decide?
Honestly, sometimes it's just the hassle of it because
Yeah.
it's like you come across so many people that you don't necessarily have to have a long conversation with. Obviously, when it comes to settings like how we met, or just, you know, talking to someone that, you know, you want to talk to more, then it's fine. I'll start telling them the whole history lesson of my life. But if it's just a random passerby and they're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, I always stutter, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm from too many
Yeah.
places. Goodbye. You know?
I hear
Yeah.
you. I hear you. And I feel like these days, I try not to ask the question, where are you from? If I'm going to ask a question like that, I try to ask, where are you based? Because I feel
Right.
like it's just like, you can be like, cool, I'm based in Dubai. Cool, I'm based in Cape Town. And it's like,
Yeah.
cool, that's where you live in this moment.
Plain
That's the
and
journey.
simple.
That's the season.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Keep it easy.
Exactly. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. So talk to us
Mm.
about your journey then to content creation. You know, was this inspired by all these questions that you had about your identity and your life, or did it start in a different way?
Well, with content, I feel like content creation itself is a very new term that we have put, I guess, on the actual art process of making content. Because what it was for me was it was a passion of video making and film. So I always grew up wanting to be a movie director. So I was as young as 10 years old and I knew what I wanted to do. It was always me with my camera, just shooting, you know, toys or whatever. Like that was something that I always liked doing. Obviously, I didn't have that much direction in terms of like the content itself. I just knew that I liked doing it. And as I grew up, obviously living in different countries as well, always having these questions of, you know, what is home? Where do I belong? Like, I'm too brown for white people, too white for brown people. Like, what is this? You know? And I used to just write those feelings down. And it was when I was living in Pakistan a few years ago where I sort of took all those feelings that I had written down in my journal for like years. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to turn this identity crisis into, you know, YouTube, into content. And so that's what I did. I started documenting my journey and sort of, I guess, the cultural shock of living in Pakistan and, you know, not really feeling like I'm from there, but then also knowing it's part of who I am and kind of just dealing with all of that. And I guess that's how it all came into play with YouTube. So yeah, the passion was there and the content was there too. But when they kind of came, they came together when I started having that process of like self-realization and just realizing that, you know what, this is who I am and I'm proud of it, and I need to embrace all the different parts of me, and this is my way of doing that.
I absolutely love that, Alina, and how special and how incredible for you to say there's so much going on in my life, there's so much going on in my heart, I'm moving around the world, I'm acclimating myself with, you know, a cultural identity that is a part of me but a place I've never lived in before.
Yeah.
And to take all that and then say I'm passionate about making movies and directing, so we're just going to start vlogging, and look at all the success you've had. That's amazing.
I mean, thank God, yeah.
Well,
I guess some good came out of it.
Hey, look, you know what?
Yeah.
If you can be paid to just do you and live your life, then girl, you are doing something right, okay?
Thank you.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. So, okay, are those dreams, those future dreams of being a director, being, you know, in that space, are those dreams still there? Or since this epic, you know, YouTube and vlogging journey of yours, are you like, actually, like, I like this, I'm happy to stay here?
No, the dreams are very much still there.
Yeah.
YouTube has its own place. I enjoy YouTube, but I mean, the goal is to be doing something completely different. I just see YouTube as sort of like the stepping stone to get there. Like, I feel like it opens up opportunities, because as of now, I might not be able to direct movies in Hollywood, but I can direct movies on my channel, and that's my creative outlet. So that's what it is for me.
I love that for you. I love that for you. And look, keep dreaming big. Luckily, we know a film director in Dubai who I'm sure is giving you tips.
Yes, we do. Yeah. We love Dana.
Look, shout out Dana. I was giving her all the shout outs. I keep telling her, I'm like, Dana, can you please direct and film a TV show for me? Like, I'm ready. Like, I have a YouTube show, I have an Instagram show. I need a show for like Netflix now. You can direct it. So that's going to be next
together, our creative little team. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So talk to me about some of like the creative process for you in terms of how you think about these themes or these topics. You know, I've watched a bunch of your videos, whether it is like making a video about the neighborhood that you were living in Pakistan, or, you know, moving to Dubai, moving to the Emirates, the new country, or just reading, you know, funny messages with your mom that people have like DM'd you, right? Like, where does that creativity, where does that inspiration come from? And talk to us maybe through the process. Like, do you get the idea and then you start, or, you know, do you try and make content first and then be like, okay, this mostly themed around this one thing? So talk to us about that creative flow for you.
Right, the creative process. This is such an interesting question to me, because the creative process in itself is something that's so subjective. And even within one person, there's so many different ways that creativity can kind of just strike you. Because yes, sometimes I do get the content first and then get the idea, but sometimes I get the idea first and then start making the content. But really, like, in terms of topics and themes, I honestly do not put that much thought into it. And I mean, see, again, it's very complicated to answer, but I think what I really do and what I've always tried to do is sort of share the experience just through my eyes, like as raw as possible. So all those examples, like, for example, the neighborhood, or just the experience of living in Pakistan, or just any day-to-day video, like, none of them had anything to, like, any profound thought behind it. It was just, hey, this is what's in my mind right now. Plain and simple. Like, this is, it's literally just at the top of my head. I'm not even thinking about it. This is just it. And I would write that down, just that honest feeling that I feel in that moment, and then try to convey that feeling through the video. And that's why when people ask me, what kind of content do you make on YouTube, I try, like, I don't even know what to say to that, because I'm just like, I try to make people feel things. I try to share experiences by making you feel an experience that I experienced while you're watching the video. I hope that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. Alina, what you're basically telling me is that you are a storyteller. You find and yes, You find an emotion, you find an experience and say, this is what I felt in that moment. This is how I was moving through this moment. How do I recreate that so that other people around the world can feel that and engage with it too?
Exactly. Yeah.
And look, I mean, you're going to make a phenomenal director one day, Alina, because that's literally what we want when we go to the movies or when we watch things online. It's like we want to be taken on a journey. We want to be taken on some lived experience. And you do a really, really, really good job of that. I wonder, oh my gosh, you're so welcome. And I wonder, you know, it's one thing to vlog about these experiences and going to different places and to try and convey that emotion. It's another thing to just kind of like just be living it as your life, right? Because obviously you live it first and then you share it after. So talk to us about what it's been like for you, at least in the last couple of years. You've made two really big moves, right? You moved to Pakistan, now you've moved to the Emirates. Like, was there any sort of you know, culture shock? Was there anything that you were surprised by in that moving process? Because you make moving around the world look really simple, and I think I think I make it look really simple too. You know, living in Singapore, living in Bolivia, living in South Africa. But really, you know, we know that there's a lot going on in the head and in the heart when you move somewhere. So talk to us about those experiences of actually having moved to two radically different countries in the past couple of years.
Yeah. It's very interesting that you say that, because see, that again proves that there's so much more than what meets the eye on the internet, because those experiences have by far been some of the most difficult experiences that I've ever gone through in my life. Yes, I did come out of it a whole different person, and I would never change the experiences that I went through, but that doesn't mean they weren't insanely difficult. Obviously, I, for the most part of my life, did grow up in New Zealand. So that was, I mean, home base for me. And that was where I was comfortable. That's where all my friends were. I mean, I was in, how old was I? I was 16. So I was close to starting uni. I was supposed to get my driver's license. Like, I was set on my life. I had no room to make any big changes or anything. Everything was so clear cut, and I just had a plan and I knew what I wanted. And then to suddenly have to, you know, move to Pakistan, which is just a whole 180, it's a completely different culture, completely different way of life. That was difficult. And I talk about this a lot on my YouTube channel as well. Initially, especially because I was so young at the time, I was very negative. Like, it was very hard for me to see the positives that could come out of it, and it really just felt like, this is the worst thing in the world, why is this happening to me? You know, and it was really a process. And even now I still get a lot of comments from people who watch those videos who say things like, hey, I just moved from Australia to Pakistan, I just moved from the UK to Pakistan, like, you know, I'm going through these feelings. And I tell everybody now, since I've kind of come out of it on the other end, that this is probably going to be one of the most difficult things that you go through, but you have to trust the process. Like, people used to tell me this, people used to tell me, Alina, you need to give it time. And I used to just tell everyone to shut up because it would piss me off. But now I agree with it, because it's true, you have to trust the process. And it did get better eventually. And the funny thing is that, well, with my experience in Pakistan, for the about almost 3 years that I was there, I hated it completely. But in the last few months, right before moving, that's when I made some of the closest friends that I have today. And that's when my heart completely shifted. And I'm like, wow, like, there's something nice here and I like it. And then even moving to Dubai, that was less of a culture shock, because like, you know, standard of living sort of thing, it's about the basic necessities and just the things that I'm used to. Like, obviously for someone born and brought up in Pakistan, living there is a different experience, but for someone who was not living there or has never lived there before, it's really difficult. It's really difficult to adjust. And it's for the most part a place with just one dominant culture, so people didn't really get the mentality that I had for the most part. But moving to Dubai, obviously, it was a lot easier in that aspect, because there's so much diversity here. And this whole place is just, I mean, it's basically the whole world in one place. So there's a lot more relatability, and it's a lot easier to sort of find common ground, and it's an easier way of life to adjust to. But despite that, even moving to Dubai was difficult, and it still is, because it's the fact that you're starting from scratch. You're building your life up again. You make friends, you get comfortable, and then you scratch all that, and you're like, okay, back to square one. And doing that over and over again, like in the past 5 years, to have already had to do that twice, it's a lot, and I'm used to it now in a way, but it still doesn't mean it gets easy. It really doesn't. You get used to it maybe, but it's still as difficult. I'm still finding my place here, and I think it was only in December after the summit that I started enjoying Dubai properly. So, you know, it takes time. You have to trust the process.
I'm really glad that you shared that, Alina, because I think it's important for people to acknowledge and to recognize and to hear from somebody like you who has made the transition that, you know, it is a really big step to uproot yourself from your friends, your life, your community, the things that you're used to and familiar with, and drop yourself into a whole new place. It is really challenging to do that. And, you know, when I said earlier that, you know, you make it look easy, it's because you're able to talk so thoughtfully and so eloquently to your experiences and consolidate all of these thoughts that you have around them, which I think a lot of people are going to look to you for that kind of guidance and that kind of like mentorship when they are moving maybe to Pakistan or maybe anywhere else in the world, because it is a transition indeed, and some people do it better or worse than others.
Yeah. No, I think it's just a coping mechanism, honestly. Like, everyone has their thing. Everyone has their way of, I guess, finding a piece of home when they feel far away from home. For me, it was, hey, what makes me feel like myself when I don't feel like myself, when nothing feels right anymore? The camera, picking up, you know, my phone and filming something. That's what felt like me. And that kind of, I guess, grounded me when things got difficult. And I think for everyone, it's just about finding that thing that kind of brings them back and brings that color back into your life when you feel like, you know, things are too different and I feel lost. So I'm happy that I was able to provide that space. And that's kind of what the intention behind my channel was initially as well, is that I want people from all around the world, identity crisis kids, to be able to find me and feel like, hey, this is a channel that gets me. This is a person that gets me. And that's always been my goal. And that's just constantly what I'm striving towards.
Yeah, and you are absolutely making that happen. I think I watched one of your videos, maybe the moving to Dubai video, where you were like, I'm lost and I don't know where I'm going, but what I do know how to do is vlog. You just pick up the camera. Honestly, that's late, girl.
Yeah.
I was like, that's perfect. It's like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing, but at least I can do this. And honestly, that was just so funny. Do you feel like so tell us about, like, what are you doing in Dubai? Is Dubai going to be a place that you're going to stay for a little while? Or, you know, is uprooting yourself in a whole new country coming soon? Like, what's the tea, girl? Give it to us.
I mean, look, I have decided that there is no point planning, because you just never know with life. Okay, I didn't think I was gonna move this much, but look, here I am. For now, because I am currently studying, I do think I will be seeing my university through. So I'm probably here for another couple of years. Again, no solid fixed plans. But I do see a lot of opportunity in Dubai, and I do see a lot of scope. And I want to be able to give Dubai the chance to sort of avail as many opportunities as I can, and to see, I guess, you know, I feel like in a way I gave that chance to Pakistan and it did well for me. And I want to be able to do that in Dubai as well, see how far it takes me. And then who knows? I don't necessarily see Dubai as a forever home. But for now, I do want to see it out all the way through, and then God knows where I'll end up. Don't know yet.
That's the way to do it, girl. Keep us on our toes, just waiting to see how much longer. Yeah, exactly. No spoilers in this interview.
No.
Oh my goodness. But I feel you on having, you know, like a home for right now and being able to call a city like Dubai a place that you resonate with, a place that you're setting down some roots, building a community, building your tribe, you know, and then you're going to be able to leave that and head over to the next thing if that opportunity arises in the future. I feel very similarly about me here in Cape Town. You know, I've been in and out of Cape Town for like 10 years now, and I'm like, it's an amazing city. I love it here. I've got my roots, and now those roots might start to take off and fly a little bit. You know what I mean?
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think eventually what happens is you kind of you start seeking that thrill, because once you've moved so much, you no longer see it that much as a negative, but more so as like, okay, new challenge. Let's conquer this now. I've conquered this country and this country. Let's conquer a new country now, you know? So I feel like that's what happens eventually.
Exactly. Well, it's like you realize that your cross-cultural capital can take you anywhere. And this is one of the things that like I said, this is what I love about talking to other people like me who are also mixed race, who are also living in different countries, different, like you're multinational, you're multicultural. Like we know that the world is not black and white because that is our entire lived experience, right? Our mom has one opinion, our dad has another opinion, the people around us have a different opinion, and then it's up to us to be like, okay, well, this is my opinion in this mix.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy how everyone seems to have an opinion about where you're supposed to be from and how you're supposed to be and what your identity should be like. And it's like, hey, what about me?
Right. Exactly. Okay, let's build on that because I think that's a good point, right? And I think especially for someone like you, you're in the public eye, you're a massive YouTuber, you've got huge followings on TikTok and on Instagram. So we know people are commenting and saying whatever the hell they want to say. Even on this live, I see some of these comments. I'm like, what are y'all saying?
Don't read
people are saying,
them.
I know, I'm like,
Don't
people are
read
saying
them.
some stuff on these comments. I'm like, okay, I don't even know what's going on here. But I'm sure everyone has an opinion. Everybody wants to say something. How do you deal with, you know, sometimes receiving comments that maybe, you know, are people giving their opinions in a way that's like rude or disrespectful, or maybe they're just haters? Like, how do you deal with that? Because I can imagine that can be a lot when you're trying to like find out your own identity. You're trying to find out yourself. You've so vulnerably shared a piece of yourself with the world in a vlog, and then people are like, nah, they just hating in the comments. How do you deal with that?
I think the best way to deal with it is to not deal with it. Like the second you give it attention, you're entertaining it. Like for me, it's just I just ignore it. Like I don't take it seriously because I think of it like this. Like I have a very small circle of people that I care about and people whose opinions I actually value. If those people say something to me, that's a whole different story. But if it's someone that I don't even know who's hiding behind a profile picture that's sometimes fake and just being a keyboard warrior while I'm out here doing my thing, I mean, I feel sorry for you. That's it. Like, I've never once had the time in my life to leave a hate comment. So I can't even comprehend being that free to just hate on somebody else doing their thing. And there's a very nice quote, and I don't know where I heard this or who I heard it from, but it was, if you wouldn't go to someone for advice, then there's no point listening to their opinion or what they have to say about you. And it's that simple really for me. So people can say what they want, but I'm happy doing my thing. And yeah, like.
I love that. Good vibes only. If you're not going to say something nice, don't say anything at all. But shout out to all of y'all who are on the live and who are saying nice things in the comments. We love you. Shout out to you.
We love nice people.
We love you. And I feel like this is a good moment to just plug. If you're not following the girl Alina on Instagram yet, you need to do so right now because she's an amazing content creator. She shares her whole soul with all of us. You can literally go to the top of the screen right now on the IG Live, hit that little white arrow in the center, and you can go follow at Alina Hayat, Hayat with a HXYAT, okay? And then you can go follow your girl, NIKKI BANZ, at They Call Me BANZ, for amazing interviews like this every single Tuesday with the dopest content creators, visionaries, activists, entrepreneurs around the world. And I'll upload this onto YouTube afterward and onto Instagram, so you know people can just rock with it forever and ever. Speaking of yes. So speaking of entrepreneurship, you have a whole little side hustle entrepreneurial brand popping off that I actually think is so vibey. I wish I had known about it before I'd come to Dubai, because I would have for real placed an order. So next time I'm coming to Dubai, like I'm gonna get involved. Talk to us about, it's called Rugbies. Talk to us about your entrepreneurial prowess.
Oh my God. Rugbies, it was a hobby. So last summer I was in a bit of a funk, I guess you could say. Because YouTube and content just started feeling like a job a little bit more than my passion, which happens, I feel, when you use your passion and sort of also make money from it. Then it kind of becomes this thing where it's like, I want to do it because I love it, but at the same time, because it's like I'm earning from it now, it feels like a commitment that's, you know, more of a job sort of thing. So I was in that sort of headspace where I felt like I needed something new with my life. I'm like, I want to put my creativity and energy somewhere else, so that it's not just this, that I'm constantly like YouTube, and I can't love it anymore, you know? So I love like decorating my space, and my Pinterest was just filled with all these like rugs. And I wanted to order them, but I didn't find any places in Dubai that was selling them. So I started watching videos on how to make them, and the process itself was so satisfying. I'm like, I think I need this as therapy. so, so I went and I bought all of the equipment and everything, and it was purely just a hobby, something I enjoyed doing for fun. And like I had friends and stuff come to me and tell me that they would buy it. So I was like, you know what? Let's just make this a side hustle too. It's very much on the back burner at the moment. That's one of my flaws. I bite off a lot at once because I'm always doing like 100 different things, which makes it hard to focus on like one thing. But you know, every now and then I do like make a rug here and there. I do, you know, sell them, but it's mostly something I like to do for fun.
Wow.
But yeah.
Wait, so you're telling me that with these rugs, you actually, like, you yourself, Alina, you like hand sew all of these rugs?
I don't sew them. There's a gun.
Oh,
So,
there's a gun.
yeah.
Okay.
So you get like a tufting gun, and you put the yarn in, and you just start making a rug with it. So that was a fun little thing that I started to do. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is fascinating. I feel like now I need to go watch one of these videos. It sounds like, it actually does sound very relaxing, very like ASMR-esque, you know, to just watch like like so cool.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay. You know, like I said, next time I come to Dubai, I might have to holler at you. You know, I'm always trying to support businesses that my friends run. So, you know, maybe by the next time I come to Dubai, it'll be like less of on the back burner and more on the front. And I'll be like, Alina, you got
NIKKI BANZ rug. Yeah.
Exactly.
Got you.
Like,
you.
I should just put like NIKKI BANZ live in a rugby rug, just like right here.
It would look sick. It's amazing decor.
Right? Just style by the finest.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, love it. Okay, well, honestly, congratulations on that, because even being able to turn something that was sort of like relaxing for you, something that was just like fun and another creative outlet for you, into something that actually makes you money as well, I think that's cool. Like, I had a friend once, you know, years ago say like, if you're good at something, you should be paid to do it, right? And that should be like anything. If it's talking like me, I literally get paid to talk because I'm good at it. Like,
You're amazing,
right? That's
at it. Your hosting voice is phenomenal. Even your voice notes. I told you that the voice notes. I'm like, wow, this is the start of a show. This is amazing.
Exactly. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. You know, and so for you to just be like, I have this really great hobby of making these rugs on the side, why not sell them and have people support you? Like, as a creative, I bet, like, well, you have to tell me. I mean, I'm actually curious right now. I mean, obviously you're in school, you're studying, but as a creative, I imagine that, at least in the early days, it probably is hard to make an income, because it's like, you know, am I making money from YouTube? Am I making money from like a subscription-based service. So maybe talk to us a little bit about like, you know, the different sorts of streams of income and how you've been able to channel your creativity into being, you know, something that like financially supports you.
I would say that's one of the biggest struggles. And I think this is something that most creatives feel because a lot of people in my circle are kind of, I mean, the creatives in my circle, we're all kind of in the same boat. There's obviously this image that people have of, you know, these YouTubers, content creators, Instagrammers doing things that they're passionate about and making a lot of money from it. And that does happen, but it doesn't happen right away. It doesn't happen overnight. And to get there is difficult. And it's still difficult because some months you have great months, a video goes viral, you make a good buck, and then another month, maybe not. And it's the same with any business. One month I might get more orders, one month I might not. But I think what happens with a lot of creative individuals like us who are doing things like this is we end up having so many side hustles. So you're getting these multiple streams of income at once. So yes, I have my YouTube. Yes, I have my, you know, my rug thing. But at the same time, I do freelance jobs and I do other, you know, content related jobs where I don't know, whether it's working with brands or something marketing related. So it's kind of initially like, if you think you're just going to be making money if you're doing what you're good at initially, it's a hoax. It's not going to happen unless you're extremely lucky. Like that it's very rare. And everyone who's at the top has worked their butts off to get there, and that's what people don't realize. So I think if you're a creative and you want to, you know, turn your passion and what you're good at as like a full-time thing, the way to do that is actually by doing multiple things at once, hoping that one thing will be able to support the other thing and vice versa. And I'm sure you relate as well. Like, I don't know, but I think, you know.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
And it's actually so interesting because as I reflect even on this show, on NIKKI BANZ Live, right? When I made the decision to be a presenter and to be an MC, all my friends were like, cool. That's like my friends already in the industry, right? All my actor friends, singer friends, they were like, that's a great idea. But they were like, nobody knows who you are. So they were like, you need to make your own show. They were like, you need to put something out there for yourself so that people can actually figure out who you are. So I said, okay, great. Let me start this Instagram live series where every Tuesday I go live with some of the coolest people around the world that I know so I can put myself out there. And, you know, the YouTube show that I just finished filming last week literally came as a result of a producer DMing me and being like, hey, I've watched your IG live series. Send us a tape of you reading these lines and come audition. And I'm like, okay, you know?
Love that for you.
Yeah. You know, and it's so amazing because you do kind of have to put yourself out there and like, okay, cool. The YouTube show pays me this much and then it'll help me to do this other thing. And then I'm going to do that other thing and it's going to help me pay that. And then I'm going to pay this. Like, yes, you have to kind of balance out all your creativities and all your passions because it doesn't just all come at once in the beginning, exactly like you said.
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely. So what I want to do is I want to give the folks who are on the live a little chance to ask you some questions. I will moderate. So I will very happily moderate. So party people, for all of you who are here on this live, I'm going to ask one more question to Alina, and then I am going to look at what questions you have. So if you look on the bottom of your screen, there's the comment box. Then there's like a little bit to the right, there's like a little thought bubble with a question mark. Click on that and ask questions that you want to ask Alina. If you are acting crazy in those question boxes, I will not call on your question. So ask something legit. You have a literal superstar content creator here. Ask her about the lives. Ask her about all the awesome things that she's doing, and I will ask your question. So make sure you put it in that little, you know, thought bubble with the question mark because the comments are going too fast. We can't read them. But the last question that I have for you, Alina, before I throw it over to all the fans out there is, you know, talk to us about the future. Talk to us about what's on the horizon and tell us how we, as your friends, as your fans, as your followers, what can we do to continue supporting you and all the dreams that you have?
Ooh, okay. I have not talked about what's on the horizon at all. So, like, the few people here, you guys are getting a little bit of an exclusive insight. I'm gonna, so as of now, like, obviously, I am kind of, I do want to get back into content a little bit more consistently because that's just been something I have been really slacking with. But what I'm really more focused on at the moment is I want to start a podcast, and that is in the works. It's yeah, I don't know if I've mentioned it before. I don't think I have, but as of now, that is where I've been putting most of my, my attention and just sort of to make this thing come to life. And that's, I guess, the biggest thing to look forward to. So yeah.
Oh, congratulations. I wish I had my little DJ horn. That is so exciting. And I think that makes perfect sense. And it's like a beautiful trajectory for you to continue sharing your insights, sharing your thoughts, but to put it in a podcast form for people who, maybe they're listening in their car, or something instead of watching a YouTube video. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, I guess a deeper insight, just to have a little bit more, more depth than a regular video.
Yes. Okay, we love this for you. A NIKKI BANZ Live exclusive, an Alina Hayat podcast on the horizon.
Yep.
Okay, we love this. We love this.
Definitely be one of my guests, for sure.
Oh, girl.
Tables will turn.
Oh my God. I would be honored. I would love to come on your podcast. I would be totally honored. And I don't know if you want people from all over the world, but I have all my show guests who I can send to you too.
Would love that.
Oh, I love it. Okay, that's super exciting. And tell us, okay, to make sure, maybe there's some new people who are here for the first time. Give us all your handles, all your plugs. Give us everything so that people can continue to support all the work that you're doing and learn more about when the podcast drops and all these good things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, there's my Instagram, which is here, Alina HXYAT. The X because I couldn't get my actual name. Someone else has it. It's a dead account. I'm very pressed about it.
The worst. I hate that.
I've got a TikTok as well, same username as my Instagram, and my YouTube channel is my actual name, Alina Hayat. And you can find everything in my Instagram bio. And when my podcast is out, that will probably also be in my Instagram bio.
Love it. So for all of you on the live right now, once again, go to the top of your screen, click that little white arrow. You can go follow Alina Hayat right now on Instagram. And you can also follow me at They Call Me Bands so we can continue the conversation forever and ever. So now, the moment y'all have all been waiting for, let's see what y'all got for us in the question box, okay? I will look at these, Alina, and I will see what people are saying. Okay, there's a cool question here from my friend Melissa, who's in the chat, an amazing supporter of NIKKI BANZ Live. She's here every Tuesday. Thank you, Melissa. Her question is there a dream project that you've had on the back burner that you want to manifest into the near future?
Ooh, that's a really good one. Yes, I would like to actually make a film. Like, that's been my dream project. I don't want to obviously give away too much, but I guess something related to the whole the mixed race thing and being, the identity crisis, like, sticking to that a little bit and sort of that story, because there have been a lot of moments in life that I feel, could be a really good movie. So I've always wanted to actually make a film, and that's something that I really hope does happen in the near future. So yeah, a dream project to make a movie.
I love that. And I'm glad that you put it out here on the show, because we're manifesting that for you now. We're manifesting your mixed kid movie coming 2025. Oh, beautiful. Okay, I love that. Let me see what other fun questions we have on here. This is a cool question from, I think it's A2 Zahir. A2 Zahir is asking, what influence do you want to leave on others? So when other people, like, when they check out your Instagram, when they watch your YouTube, what influence are you trying to have on them, or what impression, what emotion are you trying to leave with them?
Mm, I mean it's a pretty deep question. But I think the simplest way to answer that is a positive impact. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's very generic and vague, but I want people to leave with something good, something positive. And I always try to, even in my funny, lighthearted content, I always try to leave some sort of message. Like I feel like there should be more than just entertainment and just jokes and banter. Like there needs to be a little some depth so that when you're done watching, you're left with something. You think about something. Maybe your view changes on something. And even if it changes just one person's perception or just makes one person think about something differently or even feel like they relate, that's all that I want. Just that impact, you know?
That's so powerful, Alina. And I really like that you shared that, because it is something that comes through very clearly in your videos. It's not just you sort of moving around and funny stuff that happens. And obviously you integrate all of those elements, but there is always some sort of a message at the end. There is always a focus on an impact and shifting someone's perspective. And honestly, there is so much hate in the world right now. And so to have someone who is saying, I'm going to shift your perspective of what you think about a country like Pakistan. I'm going to shift your perspective about what you think about someone who has multiple cultures or multiple identities. I think those are really powerful stories to share. And it's great that you have that, and it does shine through. So thank you for sharing that. And
Thank you.
thank you, A2 here, for your question. Okay, let me keep looking at these questions. There are so many questions. Some are very random, but someone, okay, so someone, Katoon Clicks, is asking, when is a new vlog coming? When can we expect a new vlog?
Good.
No comment.
Hopefully next week, if I can edit this on time. I started editing today, okay, guys? So there might be something coming next week.
Okay, inshallah, party people. Inshallah, next week there might be a new vlog. Okay, shout out to our friend Katoon Clicks for asking that one. Okay, I love it. What other fun questions are there here? Okay, this is a fun question. So Chathy is asking, Alina, are you an introvert or are you an extrovert? And when people approach you in public, how do you react? That's kind of a fun one.
That is a fun one. I want to ask you that because when I met you, you were a complete stranger to me. So I want to know what you think. Did I give off introvert or extrovert energy? And then I'll answer.
That's actually such a good question. Okay, so when I met you, okay, well, I have to preface it by saying that I am a super extrovert.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can't be introverted around me. I don't give you the option. Honestly, even my partner Shame, my partner is definitely an introvert, and I'm just like, all the time, and Shame, but it's okay. So I would say, look, when I approach you, I would say you were somewhere in between introvert and extrovert. So you weren't so quiet, you weren't closed off. It was nothing like that. We started talking pretty quickly, and then we were able to share some things once we found some common ground. But you weren't as bubbly and out there as I am, but also I'm so.
Yeah, firstly, matching that energy, I would be drained for months. But at the same time, you were so spot on because I would say I'm in the middle, and it really depends on my mood as well. Some days I feel like if my social battery is low, I will probably be one of the most quiet, just kept to myself kind of people. But if I'm, charged, then I could be very loud and bubbly as well. But I would say I'm very much in the middle. It really just depends on my mood.
I feel that. I feel that. And I like that you called it a social battery because you know it's something
Yeah.
that can like be charged all the way up or it can be
Yeah.
in the middle or it can be down or it can just be dead.
100%.
It can
Yeah.
just be dead.
That's exactly how it is.
I love that. I love that. Maybe I'll have to reference that, but I feel like my social battery is always like at 100. But
And I love that for you. I love that for you. I aspire to be like that sometimes.
one day, one day. I love it. Okay, let me see if I can ask one more question from the cool kids who are here on this IG Live. Honestly, shout out to all of you. Thank you for being here, for rocking with us for the past hour. We appreciate you. So thank you for being here on NIKKI BANZ Live with the amazing Alina Hayat. Okay, let me find one more question. Okay, so this is a cool one asking about your uni. So Coyote Flow is asking like what degree are you pursuing right now, because we know you're studying, and is that going to help you in your future of being an awesome film director?
You guys are really coming with like the questions that I avoid.
Oh really? Oh no, sorry.
No, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So I'm currently, so it's a Bachelor of Arts degree, but the major is creative industries. It sounds really cool. Okay. It sounds like the perfect degree for me. And that's what I thought when I joined, because creative industry is creative individual. I'm like, yeah, what else, you know? But do I think it really facilitates my future? If you really want my honest advice, no. I don't think uni in general facilitates with your future, because uni has its own place, but if you really want to make something of yourself, you need to be doing 100 things on the side. You need to be putting yourself out there. And I'll tell you this, like I learned so much more in 2 years of my gap year, practical wise, like practically, than I have in university. And that's just, you know, if you think you need to study something to pursue something, I completely disagree with that.
Well, we appreciate those honest opinions there. And look, the reality is that like the school of life is definitely the best school out there. That's facts, right? There is so much that we learn from moving, from traveling, from being immersed in different cultures, moving to new places. Like there are so many things, life lessons that we learn from those spaces. Honestly, I feel like, at least from my university experience, I can say the best thing was the network, right? Because the network of people there, professors, mentors, companies that come to universities just to hire, right? Like for me, it's the network, which I think is great. And, you know, and that's probably something I remember from being in school 10 years ago. Well, Alina, we're almost here at the end of your interview on NIKKI BANZ Live. We just want to give you a chance to share any final thoughts, any final feelings here on NIKKI BANZ Live.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for having me. Like, this was very exciting. I haven't done like a live or an interview or a podcast in a really long time. But this has been so nice. And when you reached out, I was so excited. And I'm just so glad that we finally managed to do it and it all pulled through. And also, I love what you do, like, honestly. And I love, you know, seeing you do your thing. And I just hope for the best for you and lots of success for all of us here. And everyone who tuned in, I mean, thank you for tuning in. And everyone who's been kind, thank you for being kind. And yeah, that's really it.
Oh, Alina, I love you so much. You're so sweet. Thank you, my dear. Honestly, this interview was so special. I'm so glad that we finally made it work. Thank you for spending time with me here on NIKKI BANZ Live. And I have no doubt whatsoever that your film debut is imminent. And I have no doubt whatsoever that everything you're trying to accomplish with the message that you're trying to share with the world, with merging and sharing your identities on the global scale, I have no doubt whatsoever that that is going to take you so far in life. So thank you for sharing yourself, your heart, your soul with the world. And you've got a friend and a fan and a follower in me for forever. So do not hesitate to reach out with anything at any time, because I got you, girl.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. All right, party people, this has been NIKKI BANZ Live with the one and only YouTuber, content creator, future film director extraordinaire, Alina Hayat. Thank you all for being here, and join me right here on NIKKI BANZ Live every single Tuesday for a brand new guest from a brand new country, from some fabulous part of the world. So thank you all for being here. Alina, you're a superstar. Everyone, happy morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We love you, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
All right, thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye, Alina. Bye, everybody.